Okay, let's take a look at some advanced factoring. Here's our question. X squared minus x in parentheses squared minus 8 times x squared minus x in parentheses plus 12. So this does look a little tricky, but if you notice, it kind of has some similar structure to what we've seen before. There's something squared, and my parentheses, if you notice, match. So I have my steps listed out that we're going to follow. Step 1, let y equal whatever is inside the parentheses. So y equals x squared minus x. And now I'm going to rewrite this problem. Instead of my parentheses, I'm going to replace it with a y. So I have y squared minus 8y plus 12. And I'm going to factor this new trinomial. So I'm going to look for what multiplies to 12. I'm going to set up my two parentheses. I have a y squared as my first term, so a y is going to go inside each parentheses, and I want to know what multiplies to 12. So if you need to, write out your factors or use your calculator, the y equals trick. I'm going to use my sign trick here. I'm going to bring down my negative for the first parentheses. A negative times a positive is a negative. So I'm looking for two of these that multiply to 12 that also somehow give me 8. So it's going to be 6 and 2. Remember that your bigger number always comes first. So now I'm going to substitute in for y. So instead of a y, I'm going to replace back this x squared minus x. So instead of y minus 6, it's going to be x squared minus x minus 6. And instead of y minus 2, it's going to be x squared minus x minus 2. And now you want to check to see if either of these parentheses, or both of them, or none of them, can be factored even further. Because remember, our original direction said to factor completely. So let's check it out. X squared, both get an x. I bring down my negative. A negative times a negative gives me a positive. If I list out my factors of 6, I'm looking for something that will add to 1. So it's going to be 3 and 2. Now let's check that second trinomial. X squared minus x minus 2. So I'm going to set up two parentheses, x in each, bring down my negative. A negative times a negative is a positive. My only options for 2 are 2 and 1. And that works. So there is my final answer. That was my original trinomial. Back up at the top with all those crazy parentheses factored.